So I got this axle bolted up in here. Got the third member in it, the axles, everything, working on mocking it up so we can run our traction bar set up. Have the upper link ran here, the end. As you can see, I cut this cross member because I was having vertical clearance issues. Get this all done, we'll go back in and weld something in place of that. But I'm just doing some measurements, gonna work on making a cross member. Sent the driveline off the shop the other day. Want to get that in here so I don't have any clearance issues with the driveline. That'd be a big problem if I built this all and I couldn't run a driveline. So I've got quite a bit done here. Have a cross member in, the upper link all cut to length. I actually got a driveline made up. Got that done at 6 states. They did a pretty good job. They seem to know what they were doing. Had a few issues with it. They had to put a new end on here. This one's nice and solid, but the other one had a little bit of wobble because there's plastic liner in there and that was worn out and fell out when I'd pull this apart. Anyway, new U-joints, all that done. Lower mount for the traction bar. This end here is actually came from Skies Off-Road. It was I think they call it a builder's end link. It was really nice. I think it's 2 5/8 wide. Uses a 9/16 bolt, and it's when they cut it, it's almost like they cut it on a lathe, and so it's machine tolerances. Really nice setup, welded in there, works perfect. Grease it up a little bit because it's polyurethane. Made up this link piece here and got it mounted up there pretty good. I tried getting as close as I could to the driveline because I want to get as far center as possible. You know, center is a little bit right in there, but it's not practical to have it over if you hit the driveline. Anyway, got that as close as possible. Have a Heim joint up there, another Heim back here. Now I'm working on these end links down here, and I'll show you what I got done up. Just got them welded up here, 2 of them, and I'll put those in there and get figured out the other end here. Alright, so I got this set up here in the shop. Ran my brake lines, ran them down this side. You can see them right there, bent them up, came down around here to a union and a short piece to this rubber hose to the brake caliper. This hose here is actually going to be a sheath for the air line for the ARB locker that goes right there. And I got my parking brake cables right here. One thing I forgot about in the last videos was exactly what parts I'm using for the brakes. These calipers are from I looked them up for an 85 Cadillac Eldorado. I don't know which side that is, but it looks like 184139. That's a part number for the calipers. Both of the brake lines for both sides are the same. That's the part number for that, BH80970. It just goes from the banjo fitting here over to 3/16 brake line. These parking brake cables, they're actually from a Ford Bronco. Looked them up for the Bronco I'm working with and checked the length. Where's the part number on these? Anyway, they're both, I do believe they're right hand side. Anyway, they're both the same one. There's a BC 93-232. And they're new and flexible, and they actually, this size, I'm actually running backwards because on the factory setup this is supposed to go into the brake drum anyway, but this end here works out better since this already has a spring on it, and that just kind of clips in there, and that there happens to be the right size to go right in there, so that's all going to work out well. Right now I'm working on the skid plate. Actually letting it cool outside here. I don't know if it's still a little warm because I heated that up with the torch and bent it around a pipe so it will fit up. Looks like I might actually have bent the whole sheet. Anyway, that's besides the point. We'll get that done and it's going to fit right up on here. And once I get some mounts welded up for that here, I'm going to disassemble all this and paint it, because this here is just primer. Actually put caliper paint on the calipers. Would you imagine that? Not just regular paint that's going to burn off. Also, I'm running, let's see, PFC brakes. Those are the brake pads for the rear. Anyway, once I get that, I'll get back to you with that skid plate. Show you what I'm doing there. Anyway, I just wanted to touch bases with some of the parts, because I know part numbers are always better than trying to tell them what you're doing. Alright, so we got the Bronco inside the shop here. Sorry about the lack of some video. I broke my phone that had some saved on it and couldn't get them off after I broke it. Anyway, so I got the axle in here and I got it all painted up. Nice red to match the front. And I finished the skid plate. Get some light on it here. I can kind of see it bolts up to those lower arms. It's not going to hit the drive line because of the way the arms travel with the suspension. And it tucks. Let's see if we can get this. It just ends right at the shave. Installed cutting brakes from the last one. Now you've probably seen videos of that. And let's see if we can crawl underneath here. Kind of see the setup I'm running. Focus here. It comes off from the brake lines into these rubber hoses. I'll get you some part numbers of those later. Another bracket I made right here, and then it runs over into the cab. And then this is another line that comes down to the factory brake line. So might need a touch up right there. That skid plate's a little close to the exhaust. I don't think it will hit, but I might cut a little bit on the corner. Currently working on hooking up parking brake. It's kind of being a bitch. Trying to fab something up.